Vince McMahon bought the World Wrestling Federation from his father, Vince McMahon Sr., for $1 million in 1982. The World Wrestling Federation held the first WrestleMania at Madison Square Garden in 1985, and then a few years later, the company would start their weekly wrestling show called WWF Raw, and Raw would go head to head with WCW's Nitro on Monday nights. And WWF won the ratings war against WCW's Nitro and eventually bought WCW from Ted Turner's network, now called Warner Brothers Discovery, for $4.2 million in 2001. An entire generation of wrestling fans had to stop calling the company as WWF or World Wrestling Federation and had to start calling the company as World Wrestling Entertainment or simply WWE. Behind all the success the World Wrestling Federation was having, in 1989, they had a legal agreement with an international non-government organization based out of Switzerland called the World Wildlife Fund. Now, here's the most important part. The World Wildlife Fund owned the trademark to the initials WWF since 1961. As per the agreement, the World Wrestling Federation could not use the initials WWF in Times Roman font when appearing alone without the World Wrestling Federation logo. Harmless enough? Not exactly. As wrestling's popularity exploded outside of America and the Federation started to enter the European market and held the 1993 SummerSlam at Wembley Stadium, the Fund and the Federation started to have disputes against the use of the WWF initials on their shows and the WWF magazine that was released in the UK at the time. The Fund and the Federation again entered into a new agreement in 1994. The straw that broke the camel's back It was at this event that WWF introduced the new WWF Scratch logo and a few months earlier launched the WWF.com website. Breaking the initial agreement of using the WWF initial, in April 2000, the Fund took the Federation to the High Court of Justice in England for violating the 1994 agreement. In August 2001, the court ruled in favor of the World Wildlife Fund, agreeing that the Federation failed to comply with the 1994 agreement. Of course, the Federation filed against the court's decision, but the appeal was dismissed. And in May 2002, the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment issued a statement that it would be rebranding to World Wrestling Entertainment. And some of us might have forgotten this, but they also launched a marketing campaign titled Get the F Out. The final WWF show happened on May 4th, 2002, ironically in the UK, at the Wembley Arena. The first WWE show was held on May 6th, 2002, and it was an episode of Monday Night Raw. And to close out, the final WWF champion and the first WWE champion was Hulk Hogan.